After keeping my nemesis as my sugar baby, I made sure to humiliate him day and night. If he didn't serve me well, he got a slap across the face. Jax pressed his tongue against his cheek and gave a faint smile. "What now, princess?" I huffed. "Just looking at you annoys me." He didn't comment, just rolled up his sleeves to help wash my hair. But when he saw the hickeys on my neck, his eyes went red. He grabbed my shoulder tight. "I didn't leave those marks last night." "Who did it? Are you keeping other dogs behind my back? Am I not enough for you? Can anyone else serve you better than I can? Speak." My nemesis, Jax, went bankrupt. I gloated, walking right up to him to rub it in. "Oh my, how is our great master Jax reduced to eating plain bread? I heard your family's company went under. Is it true?" Jax took a bite of his bread, maintaining that same arrogant expression, looking completely unbothered. No comment. He was eating scraps in the cafeteria. And still acting so pretentious. I smirked, twisting the knife deeper. "I also heard those sports cars you loved so much were sold off. Your house was foreclosed on, too. And you, unable to even afford rent, have to crawl back to the dorms. How tragic." The usually arrogant guy just smiled, wiped the corner of his mouth, and looked up at me. "Yeah, it's too tragic. I can barely afford to eat. Is Miss Chloe planning to sponsor me? We had known each other since we were kids, after all." Sponsoring him was an option, but I couldn't make it too easy for him. I lowered my head and thought for a long time. I came up with the perfect way to humiliate him, become his sugar mommy. Make him run errands for me, work like a dog, and forbid him from losing his temper. I didn't expect that when I said the words sugar baby, Jax would freeze for a long time, looking at me with a complicated expression. I was thrilled. See? This was a great idea. It made the usually sharp-tongued Jax feel so humiliated he couldn't even speak. I crossed my arms and said arrogantly, "I'll give you one more minute to think. Miss this opportunity, and you won't get another chance. After all, you don't really want to experience the life of a poor person, do you? Stick with me, and at the very least, I won't let you go hungry or force you to gnaw on dry bread." Jax stood up, a smile playing on his lips. "I'm in. Since Miss Chloe offered, how could I refuse?" He said he was going back to pack his things. I was confused. "Why pack?" Jax looked at me. "You're keeping me, but not giving me a place to stay? I'm not asking for a mansion. I'll compromise and move in with you." I frowned. "You're compromising? What kind of work attitude is that? 0 stars. And you want to live with me? Keep dreaming." Jax stopped his leisurely pace and blocked my path. "Didn't you want me to work like a dog for you? Living together makes it easier for me to serve you." I was pleased by the word serve and actually nodded in agreement. But watching him stuff bags of his things into my apartment, I still wasn't quite used to it. I pointed to a bedroom far away from mine. I warned him, "Don't let anyone know we're living together." Then, I grandly tossed him a credit card. I split half my allowance with him. My heart felt like it was bleeding. I bossed him around quite naturally. I made him massage my legs and shoulders. Help me blow dry my hair and carry my bags. Act as my driver every day. At school, I made him run errands and buy breakfast. I made him sit in on the electives I didn't want to attend. I even threw my physical education running requirements at him. Meanwhile, I sat on his jacket on the sidelines, kindly waiting for him. When Jax walked toward me against the light, his forehead was covered in a thin layer of sweat. He reached out his hand to me. I dug a small pack of tissues out of my bag and threw it at him. Jax took the tissues, paused for a few seconds, wiped the sweat off his face first, then grabbed the water bottle next to me, twisted the cap, and chugged it. Sitting on the steps, I clearly saw his Adam's apple bobbing up and down. He finished most of the bottle in one go. He sat down next to me. I looked at him with disgust and told him to move further away. Jack suspiciously sniffed himself and said speechlessly, "You're disgusted just because I sweat? Fine, I'll go wash my face." After he finished, he came back, and I handed him my bag. "Let's go back. I'm tired." He bent down to pick up his jacket from the ground and dusted it off. He followed me at a respectful distance. Because we were always together, some people actually thought we were a couple. Hilarious. Does he even deserve me? After getting home, Jax went straight to the bathroom. I changed clothes and binged shows in the living room. Unexpectedly, Jax walked out wearing only a towel around his waist. His hair was still wet, his eyes drooping lazily as he casually dried his hair with a towel. I subconsciously glanced over and couldn't look away. Broad shoulders. Tapered waist. A gleaming 8-pack. He looked incredibly intense. Jax walked right up to me. This forced my gaze to land on places I shouldn't be looking. I snapped out of it and said, flustered, "You came out dressed like that?" "No." He clearly wasn't dressed at all. Jax's voice was a bit hoarse. "It's hot." Then he asked, "Do you want me to help you shower?" Spoke too soon. "Do you want me to help wash your hair?" His tone was very matter-of-fact. But it stirred ripples in my heart. I looked at the man in front of me. Combined with his recent behavior, an incredible deduction surfaced in my mind: he was seducing me. My arch-nemesis was actually seducing me. Jax really didn't want to suffer even a little bit. He was willing to compromise himself like this. Wait. If I, the heiress, was willing to touch him, it was his blessing. I scoffed, stood up, and pushed him. He didn't budge. I was a bit annoyed. "Why aren't you moving?" Jax threw the towel aside and took a step back. Only then did I smile. I took a step forward, and he took a step back. Until his back hit the cold wall. Jax half closed his eyes and looked down at me. I stood on my tiptoes, wrapped one arm around his neck, and patted his cheek with the other, pinching it. Watching his exquisite features distort under my hand. Even when we argued the most viciously, I had never insulted his face. That says a lot about its power. I leaned in closer, just half an inch from kissing his lips. Imperceptibly, Jax's thick lashes trembled. His hands suddenly gripped my waist. I smiled even brighter, tracing his eyebrows. "Carry me to the shower." He picked me up bridal style and carried me into the bathroom. I told him to go get my nightgown. Jax obediently did as told. But after I got the clothes, I kicked him out. "I don't need you anymore. Just wait to blow dry my hair. By the way, put some clothes on." Jax raised an eyebrow but retreated anyway. I smiled triumphantly. So this is what it feels like to flirt. When he was drying my hair, I boldly hugged him. He still smelled fresh from the shower. It was very nice. Maybe because he'd been behaving well lately and not fighting me, I actually found him somewhat pleasing to the eye. Plus, I felt mischievous. I opened a bottle of red wine. I took a few sips first. Then I went to feed him. Jax didn't resist, drinking the wine from the glass bit by bit. Incredibly obedient. But the image of his tight abs kept floating in my mind. I had an inexplicable urge to touch. Thinking it, I did it. My hand reached up under his shirt, my gaze fixed on his face. "I'm just going to touch, okay?" Before he could answer, I pushed my luck and tried to lift it to take a peek. Unexpectedly, Jax pushed me away and backed off. He even covered himself with a blanket. His voice was low. "Stop torturing me." So he really wasn't willing. That made it even more interesting. The point was to make him feel humiliated. Let's see if he dares to provoke me with his looks again. I lunged forward, pinning him onto the sofa. "What are you hiding from? You're earning this money. Have some self-awareness. The male escorts I order are infinitely more obedient than you." Comparing him to escorts. Jax visibly turned red with anger. "You order escorts? I held up my fingers and bragged, not only do I order them, I order 10 at a time. Their massage and pampering skills were way better than his. Calling me baby with every breath. And they weren't bad looking either. Jax really should go take a course from them. He let out a cold laugh, flipped the positions, and pinned me beneath him. While I was stunned, he leaned down and kissed me. My eyes went wide instantly. He pecked me again. Fine, let's make sure you get your money's worth. I couldn't believe my first kiss was gone just like that. I raised my hand and slapped him. Who allowed you to kiss me? Jax lowered his eyes. Wasn't that what you meant? You told me to have some self-awareness. Was that not enough? Then let me kiss you again. Seeing Jax was serious, I quickly covered my mouth. No kissing. Only then did Jax roll off. I sat up and angrily threw a plush toy at him. Jax walked back, bent down, and tucked my messy hair behind my ear. Angry? I apologize. Chloe, if you're not willing, don't torture me like this. I might misunderstand. What was he mumbling about? What made me angry was that he had taken control of the rhythm. I was the sugar mommy. I couldn't let it slide. I sat on his lap and warned him not to move. Jax smiled helplessly, surrendering obediently, only holding on to me to steady me. Although I hadn't kissed a man before, I'd read plenty of novels and watched enough TV. I carefully leaned in, but my heart started racing when I met his dark eyes. His beautiful eyes were filled with my reflection. I covered his eyes. Then tentatively gave him a peck. Very soft. Seemed a bit sweet. I sucked on his lip for a moment. Jax actively opened his mouth. I hesitated. Should I kiss that deeply? But using him to practice my kissing skills wouldn't be a loss. Before I could move, Jax grunted in dissatisfaction, instantly stopped being well-behaved, brought his lips up, and kissed me properly. One hand held the back of my head, preventing me from dodging. His eyelashes brushed against my palm. I took my hand back. He picked me up, kissing me the whole way to the bedroom. He leaned down, pressing me onto the bed, not giving me a single gap to speak. His tongue pushed in, tangling with mine. Until I was breathless. Jax finally let go. It took me a good while to catch my breath. I didn't even have the strength to scold him. Jax laughed out loud and pinched my earlobe. Chloe, how are you this tired just from a kiss? What are we going to do in the future? I'll take you to exercise, okay? Jax had a habit of morning workouts. As for me, forget working out. I couldn't even wake up early. I closed my eyes and pulled the covers over my head. No. Jax looked at me for a while. Then sleep. Call me if you need anything. He closed the door and went to the bathroom. After that night, I pretended nothing had happened. I ordered him around just like before. Even more excessively. If he didn't serve me well, he got a slap. Jax would press his tongue against his cheek and smile. What now, princess? I'd huff, your face annoys me. He wouldn't comment. After all, I didn't need a reason to torture him. Jax only asked that I not slap him in public, to save him some face. Until one night, a friend called. Jax stopped reading the bedtime story. I answered the phone. The background noise was loud. She was calling me to come out and party. I had already showered and wasn't really in the mood, planning to refuse. She walked away to a quieter spot, but sounded very excited. There are hot guys. Lots of them. Definitely your type. Otherwise, I wouldn't be calling you at this hour. My eyes lit up. Really? Of course. Trust my taste. I wouldn't bother with just average cute guys. In that case, I'll. Suddenly, a large hand grabbed my arm. It was straight and long, with prominent veins. I followed the arm up. The man's lips were drawn into a tight line, his voice very displeased. It's so late, where are you going? Before I could speak, an excited voice came from the screen. Oh my God, did I hear that right? There's a man with you? No wonder you didn't want to come out. No. I wanted to come out. Meeting Jax's terrifying gaze, I swallowed the rest of my words. My friend was still marveling, but why does that voice sound familiar? You heard wrong. Anyway, it's too late, I need to sleep. Hanging up. I ended the call perfunctorily. I gritted my teeth in anger. What are you doing? Do you want people to know we live together that badly? Jax lifted his eyelids slightly, his eyes dark. If I didn't stop you, were you really planning to go? I couldn't help frowning. Watch your tone. You dare yell at me? I'll go wherever I want. You can't control me. Get out. Jax stood up, but froze the moment he touched the doorknob. He took a deep breath and walked back, speaking gently. I didn't mean to scold you. It's late. It's not safe. I watched his change in attitude. I curled my lips, finding it mocking. I didn't say I was docking your pay, why panic? Jax frowned, seeming to want to say something else, but I cut him off. Get out. I'm really sleepy. I don't know if it was my imagination, but Jax had been dressing up a lot lately. Styling his hair, wearing cologne. His outfits changed every day, a different style daily. Last time I couldn't help but stare at him in a white dress shirt for a few extra seconds. So he kept wearing that shirt and parading in front of me. I couldn't take it anymore and asked, aren't you cold? It was autumn, with biting winds, almost winter. He was wearing something so thin. If I got cold, who would lend me a jacket? Jax stopped. Cold. Then why are you wearing? Jax suddenly reached out and pulled me into his arms. Not cold like this. My eyes went wide. I pushed him away and jumped back. Are you crazy? If someone we know saw that, I wouldn't be able to explain my way out of it. Jax muttered dissatisfiedly, since when do you care so much about what others think? When you got tired walking and yelled at me to piggyback you before, you weren't scared. Is that the same thing? I warned him in a low voice, don't talk back. Oh. Are you tired? He held out his hands. Want me to carry you? I immediately lost all backbone and leaned on him. Jax bounced me a little with a smile. Seems like you gained a little weight. Don't talk nonsense, I'm not fat. Keep that mouth shut if you have nothing good to say. Don't make conversation just for the sake of it. Back in the room, I collapsed onto the sofa. So tired. Jax couldn't help laughing. Princess, I carried you all the way up the elevator. Why are you tired? Just tired. You're so weak. How can a woman tolerate being called weak? I wasn't having it. I immediately squirmed off the sofa, tried to stand up, but exerted too much force and got dizzy. Jax caught me quickly, not forgetting to add, you didn't have to physically prove you're weak. Arg. Damn Jax. I went to the bathroom and realized my period had started. No wonder I felt like I had no energy today. I took a quick shower, crawled into bed, but felt my stomach was uncomfortable and the bed was cold. I called Jax over. I weighed my words. I want you to warm the bed for me. I thought he would hesitate. Instead, he immediately lifted the quilt, lay down next to me, and hugged me. Why are your hands so cold? A big guy is basically a heater. I leaned weakly into his arms, closed my eyes, and fell asleep in no time. When I woke up the next day, I found he was still there. His eyes were closed, his thick, long lashes still. The lips under his high nose bridge were red. He looked very obedient when asleep, his breathing shallow. He looked very kissable and huggable. Kissing was out. But hugging was okay. Just as my hand touched him, this dog of a man woke up. Clear eyes looking at me with a teasing smile. Trying to molest me while I sleep? Chloe, didn't expect you to be this kind of person. Fake sleeping aside. He dared to gaslight me. I didn't hesitate to pinch his waist. Don't know who held me for so long last night. I just asked you to warm the bed, why didn't you leave later? Couldn't move. I'm afraid of the cold too. Sleeping together works out perfectly. Jax put his hand on my stomach. Does it still hurt? Do you want a heating pad? I was a bit surprised. How did you know I got my period? Isn't it always these few days? Pretty easy to remember. True. My cycle is very punctual. I just often forget. No wonder he wouldn't let me drink cold drinks the last few days. Jax got up. I washed up in the bathroom and wanted to crawl back into bed. Jax pulled me up. The housekeeper made breakfast and it's been warm for a while. Eat some while it's hot. Also, I made you some ginger tea. I poked at the stuff in the bowl. It was sweet, probably had brown sugar in it. Where did you get the ingredients? Ordered delivery. Just waiting for you to wake up and drink it. Oh. After eating, I wasn't sleepy anymore. Since it was the weekend, I found a blanket and curled up in the living room to watch a movie. Jax cleaned up the table simply and sat down too. He rubbed my stomach for a while, then applied a heat patch for me. I lamented, how are you so considerate now? Did your ex-girlfriend teach you well? He definitely didn't date in college. But high school, I didn't know. Back then, just hearing his name annoyed me. If I saw him at parties or banquets, I'd make a detour. Jax went silent, then got very unhappy. Why are you making things up about me? I've never dated. Can't I look things up if I don't know? Information is so accessible now. If you care, you can learn. Why bring up an ex-girlfriend? Do you care? I just said it casually. If you haven't, you haven't. Why yell at me? He reached out and pinched my cheek, laughing. This counts as yelling? Was my tone heavy? I turned my head to dodge his hand. Jax pouted. You slandered me. Although I'm tall, handsome, fair-skinned, good at basketball, have good grades, and have a bit of money, looking like I don't lack girlfriends. Is this how people compliment themselves? He lowered his eyes and looked at me. But in 20 years, besides family, besides you, I haven't even held a girl's hand. All these years, I've only hugged you. And only kissed you. I am currently an innocent, pure-hearted virgin male. His face magnified infinitely in front of me. Until his forehead touched mine, he spoke slowly, if you cherish me a little, maybe I'll stick with you for life. My heartbeat sped up inexplicably. I broke free from his embrace, suppressing the surge in my heart. I warned myself. He was only saying this because he was broke and desperate. And what if my future husband gets jealous? I'm not the type to keep a side piece. Once I find someone I like, I'll cut ties with you. But I can arrange for you to work at my dad's company. The pay won't be bad for you. Jax's face grew darker and darker, and he directly blocked my chattering mouth with his lips. I froze. Memories flooded back like a tide. Why did Jax and I know each other since childhood, yet have such a stiff relationship, always snapping at each other when we met? It had everything to do with his mouth and my bad temper. We were in the same class in kindergarten. His hands were annoying. He pulled my pigtails, making my beautiful hairstyle loose. I slapped him immediately. It wasn't even that hard. What strength could I have had back then? But this guy immediately sat on the ground and cried, "You hit me." He covered the slapped cheek and grabbed me with his other hand. Looking pathetic, huge tears rolling down. It hurts. I was so annoyed, wishing he'd stop crying. The teachers all gathered around, running to comfort him. I looked at my messy hair, felt inexplicably wronged, and started crying too. The teachers scrambled to comfort me as well. Finally, both our parents came. The two families, who were business competitors, exchanged fake pleasantries. My family told me to stay away from him. I nodded. But Jax loved to provoke me. When he was little, he was such a crybaby. I despised him and ignored him. Until junior high. At the New Year's gala, I performed a dance on stage. When leaving the stage, I was so excited I accidentally stepped on my dress and almost fell. It was the kind class president who caught me. He was representing the class to give me flowers. I accepted the flowers, smiling. When I looked up, I saw Jax. I didn't know how long he had been standing in the shadows. He huffed at someone, turned around, and threw the bouquet in his hand into the trash can. Who was he provoking? Acting like a psycho. What a waste of that face. Since then, our conversations were always barbed. In high school, we were finally at different schools, but then we ended up at the same college. Truly an inescapable fate. Memory recall complete. Jax bit me again. I flinched in pain, my thoughts snapping back. I asked unhappily, "Why did you bite me?" "Chloe, zoning out while kissing?" "What are you thinking about?" "I was thinking, you used to be really annoying." Jax smiled and hugged me again. "So you mean, I'm not annoying now?" "Not annoying means you like me." He was always good at twisted logic. And always pretending to like me. With Jax next to me, the movie became background noise. I didn't watch any of it. I kept a straight face and teased him on purpose. "Jax, if I had those needs, would you be willing to sleep with me?" "Jax." See. He went silent as expected. Unexpectedly, the next second, Jax leaned in with red ears. "So you have those needs? Then why haven't you touched me after all this time? When I agreed to let you be my sugar mommy, I was already prepared to dedicate myself to you. But you just asked me to do chores. The most we did was kiss. Actually, you can get handsy with me." He was probably just talking big. Since I was on my period, I couldn't really do anything to him. Right. He was counting on that. But after that day, Jax shamelessly insisted on sleeping with me. Claiming he was cold one moment, afraid of the dark the next. I was too lazy to argue, so I let him be. But with the heater on, I often woke up sweating in the middle of the night. And I couldn't push this dog of a man away. His arm was like iron clamped around my waist. When I woke him up, he just mumbled and hugged me tighter. I got so mad I turned off the heater. He even asked me, "What kind of guys do you like?" I thought about it carefully and answered seriously, "I like mature ones, preferably a few years older than me, capable of solving problems. You know, that mature, steady, daddy energy boyfriend, but who can also pamper me, doesn't argue with me, speaks gently. Body like yours is fine." I listed a bunch of things. Jax was silent for the first half, but when he heard me affirm his body, the corners of his mouth lifted. Young men have the benefits of youth. What benefits? I just felt it was childish. Especially him. I opened the curtains and found it was snowing outside. Jax walked up behind me and rested his chin on my shoulder. The first snow. I was actually watching it with him. Curled up in the room, it felt like a quiet winter. Night fell. I opened a bottle of wine and took a sip. It tasted sweet, enticing me to drink cup after cup. I set down the glass. Jax, who had been fussing around for ages, finally deigned to come out of the bathroom, wearing the gear I gave him. The man was wearing cat ears on his head. His shirtless upper body was adorned with a body chain, and behind his gray sweatpants was a moving tail. A good girlfriend had given it to me. I had only glanced at it briefly before bringing it back and throwing it at Jax. I didn't expect the effect to be this good. I crooked my finger at him. Jax walked over immediately, holding the chain and collar in his hand. He leaned down, handing the items to me. "Don't know how to put it on. You help me." My fingers went around the back of his neck and came back around. I clasped the chain. I tugged gently, and Jax pounced, kissing my slightly flushed cheek. "Why did you drink so much?" The man teased, do you still have the energy to play with me? My head was a bit dizzy, but my will was still there. I said unconvinced, of course I do. Oh. He picked me up bridal style, kicked the bedroom door open, and coaxed, how do you want to play with me? When I woke up the next day, my whole body hurt. So sore. I sat up clutching the quilt, taking a while to recover. Memories of last night came flooding back. At first, it was just kissing. Passionate, hot. Later, the alcohol kicked in. And Jax's hands weren't behaving, pulling mine to feel every inch of him. From top to bottom. Whispering in my ear. Baby. Honey. You're so beautiful. Wifey. The string in my mind snapped completely. Jax only pretended to persuade me at the very last moment. Baby, you're drunk. I'm afraid you'll blame me when you wake up. Saying that, but stripping faster than anyone. Also, I want to know, are you doing this with me because you like me? Forget it, you definitely like me, you're just stubborn. Otherwise, why would you keep me and not someone else, right? It must be like that. Who could listen to all that at a time like this? I covered his mouth and told him to hurry up. Finally, we did the deed. I pulled at the corners of my mouth, unable to smile. I never expected my first time would be lost to drunkenness. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but kick him. Jax was kicked awake and immediately scrambled up to hug me. What's wrong? Do you feel uncomfortable? I remembered something else. Did you use protection? Jax nodded. I did. When did he buy them? Was this premeditated? My thoughts were a mess. I couldn't sort them out, so I told him to get lost. I wanted to calm down by myself. Jax got up but didn't leave. Instead, he stood facing the wall. What are you doing? Time out. Come back. He crawled back under the covers. You were drunk last night and didn't have hangover soup. Does your head hurt? I held back. Is there anywhere uncomfortable? I'll be careful in the future. He wants a future. I slapped his mouth lightly. Shut up. Oh. Jax played with the ends of my hair, asking seemingly casually, you'll take responsibility for me, right? I turned to look at him. How else should I be responsible? Did I short you on your monthly allowance? Besides, if you hadn't purposely led me on last night, how would we have gotten to that step? I scoffed. I was drunk, you weren't. You're a grown man. If you really didn't want to, you could have pushed me away. Jax pursed his lips and admitted, yes, I did it on purpose. I like you. Of course I couldn't push you away. I'm happy doing anything with you, especially that. I was going to give myself to you sooner or later. Better to give it early so I can rest easy, save you from getting curious about wild men outside. Besides, I'm a man. Sleeping in each other's arms every day, you can handle it, but for me, it's truly torture. Jax checked my expression as he spoke. I raised an eyebrow. Torture? And wasn't it you who clung to me, insisting on sleeping together? Now you're telling me it's torture? Jax immediately corrected himself, it's bliss. He leaned on me clingily. It was me being shameless. It was my lack of self-control. It was me wanting you too much. It's all my fault. Don't hate me, okay? How did he turn into this style? So not used to it. Fine, I didn't say I hate you. Jax stopped, held it in for a bit, but couldn't resist saying, I'll pay you back double the money. Give me a title, okay? Wait. Something felt vaguely wrong. Didn't your family go bankrupt? Jax met my eyes with a slightly guilty conscience. I don't know where you heard that. My family did have a company that folded. But the main company isn't here, and the main business isn't affected. That day I just went along with you to tease you. I didn't expect you to offer to be my sugar mommy. It wasn't my dad telling me. Daughter, remember that Jax you hated the most as a kid? Their family's company that was always fighting me went under. Ha! I finally drove them out of business. From now on, I'm the only big shot in this city. A powerful outsider still can't crush a local snake, ha ha ha. They'll have to scurry back to New York with their tails between their legs. Heard his son's car was even sold off. That's when I went to find Jax in disbelief, saw him eating bread, and believed it all. Jax explained, we sold the house to buy a bigger one. Of course, there's also the plan to move back to New York. But since I'm still in school here and my mom's hometown is here, we're used to living here and don't want to leave. My dad went back alone. He was pissed and sold my car, telling me to stop slacking off and learn to take over the family business. So over winter break, I probably won't have time to accompany you. I have to go to New York. Will you miss me? Never mind missing him. Jax, you dared to fake it and lie to me. Exploiting my sympathy. I was so mad I ignored him for 3 days. Jax wouldn't leave no matter what, shamelessly following me around. Finally, out of options, he put that outfit back on. He knelt in front of me, begging for forgiveness. Slap me. Just don't ignore me. Me. When we were kids, one slap made him cry. Now he's begging me to slap him. I hooked my lip and rested my foot on his shoulder. I can forgive you. But don't even think about a title. I just want to play around. Do you understand? Jax pulled my leg and leaned forward. Fine, as long as you promise I'm the only one. You can play however you want. Jax still took care of me like before. His temper was even better than before. He loved calling me baby and hugging me for no reason. I didn't have to lift a finger for anything. It's just that having tasted the sweetness, he always pestered me at night. I couldn't take it and pushed him. So tired today. Baby, just lie there. That's tired too. Jax still didn't let go. Honey, it's the weekend anyway, indulge me once. Don't push me away. Baby. Good girl. One day I came back from a bestie's birthday party. Jax ran a hot bath and rolled up his sleeves to help wash my hair. But when he saw the hickeys on my neck, his eyes went red. He grabbed my shoulder tight. I didn't leave those marks last night. Who did it? Are you keeping other dogs behind my back? Am I not enough for you? Can anyone else serve you better than I can? Speak. My friend got drunk and bit me. A girl. That's not okay either. Jax acted like he had suffered a huge injustice, demanding an explanation. Nowadays guys and girls are the same. Do you know her sexual orientation? I lay down. Stop making trouble out of nothing. The water's getting cold. Oh. While wetting my hair, Jax poured out his heart. Mainly, you don't give me a sense of security. When we go out, nobody knows you have a boyfriend. Wait, I don't even count as a boyfriend, boo-hoo. I don't even have the right to be jealous. You must think I'm being unreasonable, right? I closed my eyes, but I couldn't close my ears. Jax started lathering the shampoo, his voice continuing, even if you dumped me, it would just take one sentence. It's all my fault. I used to do things to make you angry just to get your attention. Back then I always wondered, how could there be such a beautiful and cute girl in the world? I couldn't control myself from getting close to you. That New Year's, I planned to give the flowers to you, but I saw you smiling so happily at other guys. In high school, if I didn't seek you out, you acted like I didn't exist. When I finally found a chance to see you, you ignored me. You even danced with other guys. My heart shattered into pieces, I almost couldn't pick them up. I couldn't take it anymore and interrupted his sorrowful monologue. Quiet down. Oh. Jax rinsed my hair with clear water. Then give me a title. Then I won't overthink things. I'll be at ease when you go out to play. That way, other people won't be so shameless, knowing you have a boyfriend and still trying to seduce you. You're too lovable, you have to give me some security. Me, get out. We'll talk after I finish showering. Jax, so you're tempted, right? You also want a boyfriend like me, right? Honey, I'll help you wash. How can I let you lift a finger? I shot him a glare. He corrected himself, then I'll run the bath for you. Jax cleaned himself up before coming to find me. Girlfriend, have you thought about it? Don't worry, your boyfriend is already here. Seriously. How did I find such a chatterbox? Completely different from my ideal type, miles apart. But the kissing and hugging were still very endearing. I poked his abs, squeezed his muscles, and asked him, when are you leaving? Jax pouted pitifully. Day after tomorrow. Just got together and already doing long distance. My heart hurts. I pushed him down. Then don't waste tonight. Jax was pleasantly surprised. Baby, I love it when you initiate, it's okay, initiating for a few seconds counts. You don't need to move. I got this. I doubted myself a bit. Should I really start working out? But laziness defeated everything. I had Jax anyway. When Jax was packing, I told him to pack a bag for me too. He froze, then was quickly surrounded by immense joy, as if he couldn't quite believe it. You're coming with me? I twirled the diamond on my manicure. I have nothing to do over winter break anyway, might as well go keep you company. Save me from your text bombing the moment you leave. Plus, I wanted to visit New York. Jax smiled. Why are you so good to me? Who asked you to be my boyfriend? If I'm not good to you, who should I be good to? Hearing this, he pounced on me, hugging and kissing me wildly. Good baby. You said it yourself. Agreeing to be with me means it's for life. I won't let go. You're not allowed to either. I was kissed until I had to lean back, but I hugged him tightly too. Of course. I'm a very serious person.